Hello everyone and welcome to my first online lesson. My name is Antonio for Lingvo Formación and I'm going to talk about one of the major grammar points for Spanish students of English, which is word order. Although most teachers prefer to begin with a sentence as a unit of communication, for me it is better to start with the smallest unit of meaning, the word. Let me show you how we will approach this question following this diagram from a more logical perspective. As you can see, the base of this pyramid is formed by the word level. If you go up, you will see the next level, which is the phrase. These two are going to be our targets for today's lesson. Let's start with the word. We said before that, without getting deeper into the issue, it is the smallest unit of meaning. In English, like in Spanish, we have different types of words. This time, we are going to focus on some of them. Like for example, this, live. Live is a verb and it is the most important word in English. It defines the action, what happens, and it can be formulated in different tenses according to the moment when it happens, in past, in present, or in future. House. House is a noun. There are very many types of nouns, like, in this case, a common singular noun. We have to be careful with nouns, as they may be countable or uncountable, specific or abstract, individual or collective, etc. Spanish students often get confused with the use of uncountable nouns, for example, when forming phrases. But this topic requires a separate explanation. Big. Big is an adjective. It usually goes with nouns and completes the meanings with additional information, which means that it is not an independent word. The main difference with Spanish is that it comes before the noun, not after. I is the pronoun, and as we said in the case of the noun, we can have several types of pronouns as well. Regarding their functions and positions in the sentence, they can be subject or object pronouns. Although they can be, like in this case, personal, we can also find possessive, like for example, mine or yours, and demonstrative pronouns like this or those. Essentially, they replace nouns representing people or things. A is an article, and it helps identifying the most important words in a phrase, which is essential to understand the next level. They can be definite or indefinite, like in this case. It always goes with countable and singular nouns. Finally, in. In is a preposition. It goes with all sorts of content words, and we usually use it to talk about place or time, for example. Like the article, we need it to form bigger units of communication, like for example, the phrase, which represents our next level in the pyramid. There are some different types of phrases, but in this case, we are only going to refer to noun phrases and adverbial phrases. We need to know that a phrase is basically a group of words among which there is one that represents a nuclear part of it, and one or more than one other words around it. If we recover the words we used before, we could use some different examples. Number 1. A house is a noun phrase. Here we can see the combination of an article and a noun. We previously suggested that whenever we use a singular countable noun, we have to use the article. Additionally, we also have to use it to talk about something or someone unknown, or if it's the first time that we name it. Things will be different if we deal with a plural or uncountable noun. Number 2, a big house. A noun phrase can have more than 2 elements. In fact, they can be formed by 3 words like in this case. No matter the many words between the article and the nucleus, that link will always be there, which means that a will always be related to house. Number 3, in a big house. As you can see, it is very simple to get an adverbial phrase by simply adding a preposition. This time, the kind of information given is related with the idea place, which means that here we have an adverbial phrase of place. Well, and this is the end of today's lesson. Next time, we will continue with the next levels of the pyramid. I hope you found it interesting, and to see you again visiting our YouTube channel or our Facebook page for more interesting stuff related with English and other languages. Bye for now.